Good morning once again, YouTubers. Today we have something that's somewhat intriguing and different for sure, and kind of a space age kind of look to it here. Just going to show you around the side. And now we're going to tell you what it is. This is actually a Muntz tape player. It is a standard 110 volt player. Very few of the players were made for use in the home. Most were used in the cars. And for those that are unfamiliar with Muntz, he was basically the first person to come out with a tape that was available to be used in an automobile. And it was unique in that it had, and we'll take a look at one here. In fact, let's take a look at this here. It was unique in that it was a continuous loop 1/4 inch tape, and unlike the 8-track tapes that most people are familiar with, this one did not have a rubber drive wheel inside. You'll notice that on the underside what it's got is a hole because there is a rubber drive wheel that pops out of the machine and into that area to drive the tape against the capstan. So let's open her up and take a peek inside. It's kind of very nice looking here. This one is called an Autostereo, and the model number on this one here is a W88. And it's a rather robust player. It's a beautiful looking player. This is made out of walnut. It has a beautiful walnut cabinet on it. And if you look in the front, we have volume, treble, bass, volume, balance, bass, and treble. There we go. And that little thing in the center, that's a light to let you know that the machine is on. And looking inside, you'll notice that right here is where, see the drive wheel pop up? That's what's going to sit inside the tape to drive it against the capstan. Also notice that it has 1, 2, 3, 4 lines in there. And the reason it has 4 lines is because this is able to accept 4 different sized cartridges. And this will be one set here, these 2 right here, and then this right there. Let's see, get my fingers in here. And then of course that far apart. So looking at these, you have 1. You see how it takes up the 2 places. We have 2, a little bit larger, takes up the 2nd set, and the really large ones like this, which goes right out to the edge. So this player is capable of playing all 3 sizes and a lot of tape. Now, unlike the 8-track tape, the 8-track tape had a piece of foil on the tape, and every time the foil passed on by the sensor, it would go to the next track. They called it an 8-track tape. There were 4 different sections to be played. And this is a 4-track player. And this does not have an automatic movement to the next track. You actually have a lever. So this one here is to play it, and the other one is to raise and lower, if you'll notice in the back, the head, so it picks up the first 2 tracks and then the 2 tracks beneath it. And this was a manual machine, obviously. It's actually a very nice design. I like the Muntz player better than I do the 4-track player, simply because the cartridges can be just a hair smaller for the car. More importantly though, there was no foil. So I mean, how many times did you listen to an 8-track tape? You'd be right in the middle of the song and the damn thing would swap to the next track. Well, that is kind of annoying. You don't have that with this type system. So you'll notice that this one here is very robust. I mean, not only does it have tone and volume controls and a balance, but it does have built-in speakers on each side. There's a 4x10 inch speaker on each side for stereo. In addition, in the rear, there are a total of 4 outputs, and they're in the form of phono jacks, so that you can play external speakers, you know, left and right, and then the other position for the phono jacks are for interior and exterior speakers. So you can actually play, 2 sets of speakers, the left with an external and the right with an external. So enough crap here. Let's show you how this works here. This particular tape right here, we'll give you a demonstration, and none of this should be taken away on eBay. I don't think there's anything that's gonna give me a zing here. So let's bring her forward and play a track. Turn this down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from track B, which it is now, to track A just by flipping the lever.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Put him in the scupper with a hose pipe on him. Put him in the scupper with a hose pipe on him. Put him in the scupper with a hose pipe on him.
Well, anyhow, that shows you how the smaller tape works. Now what I'm going to do is to pull it out, and we're going to put in the next size tape. And again, we just push it in place, and by pulling this forward, it's going to lock the tape into place and start playing. Pull that one out, and one more. We're going to do the great big one, just to show you the variety of tapes this can actually take into place. This is a huge tape, a lot of tape on there. Okay, so there's the demonstration of the Muntz tape player. Madman Muntz, he was kind of a, a funny individual. You can actually log into Wikipedia and read a little bit about him. He was a strange bird for sure. But he brought this tape system into vogue, and then shortly thereafter, Lear made the, well, at least it was made for the Learjets and like the 8-track players. And again, I still like this system better than I do the 8-track players. I want to thank Chris Cuff. I didn't have the time, the patience, or the correct capacitors to replace in here. This is a very robust amplifier. He was kind enough to rebuild it for me, and I do want to take the time to thank him for that. But he's going to get one for himself too. I happen to have another one. And just to show you all of the caps that came out of there, I mean, there was a lot of stuff in there that had to be replaced. But you just can't believe how robust and good sounding that amplifier is. Stereo separation is tremendous. Tone is great, and could be even better if I added external speakers. So this is one you're not going to see every day. I'm very happy to own it. This one will probably go to my grave with me. It's that nice, it really is. Beautiful piece of furniture, but more importantly, it plays as good as it looks. And once again, this is a Autostereo. That's the name of the manufacturer, out of Van Nuys, California. That's where most of this Muntz stuff was made anyhow. You'll find a lot of the tapes were made in Van Nuys. And the model number is a W88. So there you go. I hope you appreciated seeing something different. This is probably early 60s. I don't know the date off the top of my head. I should have done a little more research, but great stuff. I really enjoy this. I hope you enjoyed it too. Stay tuned. We'll have some more stuff coming soon.